Hello, hello, and welcome back to Marriage Culture TV, where marriage and culture
The
intersect.
culture intersects.
Yes, I am Athleen, Queen Athleen.
And this is Nikki O. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Had some good turkey if you're into turkey, some good meat if you're into meat, or you had the vegan dishes out or vegetarian dishes out and rolling. And I hope you were around your family and friends and just appreciative of this time, this
Yes,
season, what we're going through.
yes, exactly. I hope so. And welcome to December. Happy New Month. It's the month that
Happy New Month,
everything,
Queen
yes,
Ashley.
happy New Month. Actually, I just came back from Georgia, visiting Nikki's state, and we had a
That's
good little meetup.
right. Yes,
We had a really
yes,
good time. And
yeah.
but we want to talk about today. It's the last month of the year, and this has been a year unlike any other. We are dealing with
Absolutely.
a pandemic, coronavirus, aka COVID-19. So we wanted to
Yes,
talk about its effects on marriages and how people are coping or not coping. And hopefully, you can get some positives out of this and some takeaways and some key factors to help you. One of the points we wanted to talk, well, before I go for any further, if you haven't liked or subscribed to our video, please do so. Please share with a
please
friend.
do.
Please share with a friend.
Subscribe.
Help us spread the good news. We have good content here. You keep coming back, we know we
Absolutely.
do. Um,
Yes.
so in the coronavirus, one of the things that have come out is that couples are forced, I shouldn't say forced, but really we are forced to spend more time together.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the bars are a lot of bars are closed at one point, especially during it was a lockdown. So couples are spending more time together, and with that, you can make the best of it. There's always a positive. If you look at it like my spouse is my friend. My spouse is not the enemy. The enemy, there's a greater enemy, and it's not your spouse. John 10:10 says,
Absolutely.
the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. That's the enemy, not your spouse. So with that in mind,
Absolutely.
and in the lockdown, you're spending more time together. See it as a way to be more deeply connected to each other and appreciate each other more. There's a research on the Institute for Family Marriage that said 53%, 38%, sorry, of married couples said that the pandemic made them appreciate their spouse more. Hopefully you're in that number. We're in that number. 51% said it deepened, said it deepened their commitment to each other. And
Hmm.
hopefully we'll make that number too. So, in the pandemic time, you can spend a lot of quality time together. We talked about quality time as one of the love languages in one of our previous videos.
Yeah.
And we gave some really good tips on how to make the best of those quality times. Um, our love doctor, resident love doctor Nikki, gave us some really good pointers, and hopefully,
Wow. Yeah.
we
And
are
if
not.
if you did not listen to that clip that we did, then not the clip, that the recording that we did, then definitely please do so. It will help during this time. And
Yes.
one of the things that Queen Eileen was just saying, she was talking about spending that more time together. And it's not easy for a lot of people. So, we're saying there's a lot of positives from it, but we understand that for some people it was different. That's not how life was. That was not how their schedule was. That was not, and everything just changed. So,
Hmm.
you know, we're looking at it from the point of view that, hey, yes, we know it's different. And yes, you have to spend more time, not only with hubby and the kids and maybe other family members, depending on how
Or
your home
wifey,
is set up,
or
but
wifey and the
there's no,
kids.
could have some in-laws and outlaws in there, definitely. So we just want you to know that, hey, it's a good thing that you're able to just be with each other at this time. It's awesome.
And as Christian
Queen?
couples, you can have devotions. You have more days that you can do couples devotion or
Yes,
family devotion. Bring the kids on in, sing, pray, read your Bible, have good devotion,
yes,
and make the
yes,
best of it. Despite what's going on outside.
absolutely. Yes, be grateful for this time.
Yeah. With regard to that, though, we will not ignore the fact that there are certain stressors. And I know Nikki. was talking about these stressors earlier. Vicky, what's your take on these stressors?
Yeah, one of the things that we said even during this pandemic is that this could bring on a lot of stress for some people. And we're just looking at stress as being like a physical or emotional um, tension going on. You're trying to cope with something,
Yeah.
so your body is reacting to something that's different, so it's challenging you. And sometimes these stressors include, or some of the negative stressors that can happen, you can start getting frustrated. Okay, maybe you just lost a job, or you're dealing
Mm.
with having to homeschool the children that you haven't been doing, and you're trying to be a teacher. You never signed up for that occupation at all. So, you know,
True.
yeah. And then you're dealing with being anxious, things like that. So you're frustrated and all of those things. And, sometimes this can lead to you being or feeling overwhelmed about everything that's going on. For some people, they're not able to concentrate. They're not able. Sometimes your memory gets affected, because these are all things. You're dealing with a situation or circumstances that's just totally different from what you're used to, and some people think that it's beyond their control.
Yeah.
So you have to be dealing with all of this, and you're trying to see how you can come out of it with your marriage being intact, with your children still being lovable, and with you still smiling and shining at the end of the day. And one of the things, when we decided to do this, I was just in my head, I was just like, how was Noah and his wife and
Mm.
his family dealing with everything in the ark? Because here they were moving around, skipping, going wherever they wanted to go, hanging out with the friends, the family, doing their own thing. And then bam, Noah is like, hey, guess what? You all have to get in the ark, because, it's about to go down. And you're looking at
Yes.
COVID-19 too, and you're like, it's about to go down. And then he finds himself, or the whole family finds himself in a strange situation. Maybe the children lived by themselves, so they had their home, their own environment, and everything else. And now you're stuck with mom and dad again, because you already moved out of the house. You
Mm.
know, this is
Right.
Noah's kids, yeah. And then the only thing you have, if you're not able to talk to them, because every now and then you might get into a little spat because you didn't like the food or you didn't like the drink that was served. It's just the animals, and I see it as just what's going on right now with everything. So I think some of the things that Noah and his family had to do was just like do things that was gonna bring peace and love in the home. You know what I'm saying? Communicate so
Yeah.
that everybody could understand. Asking what were some of the things they could do. I'm trying to think.
I like the fact that you said, I think this was part of your
Be more
definition,
compassionate, I think.
be more
You know?
compassionate. Yeah.
Huh?
When you were defining
Yeah, be more.
stress, you were saying that it's your body like getting used to something new and different. And that struck a chord with
Yeah,
me. Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, go
What was the
ahead.
definition? I wanted to make sure I got it right. You said it's your body getting
You
used to
you did
something.
it. It's your body's reaction to like a challenge or a
Okay.
demand, something that's totally different.
And
Yeah.
I identified the moment you said that, right? I identified with that definition immediately because it brought my mind back to when I first transitioned from working in the office to working at home. And
Okay.
initially, I've always wanted to work from home, but under
Yeah.
these circumstances, it's a new job, a fairly new job for me. I just finished orientation, and then boom, COVID hit, and boom, we were sent to work from home. Everybody had their laptops, their computers, and all this stuff we were supplied with. But then my husband and I had to learn to coexist. Home has now become school. It has become work, and it's also home. So it's like, home has our safe, comfy haven has become this multifaceted arena, and we had to learn to coexist. And I think a lot of couples around the world can identify with this. You had to learn to now
Yes,
start
definitely.
sharing your home with your office space, sharing your home with schools, and it was stressful for me at first. I will not lie, it was stressful because part of it was okay. I would get up and I would log onto my computer and I would start, logging into my work stuff. I was used to being in the office with three big screens at my desk. And now I'm at home with my laptop. Of course, I have my personal laptop, and I could have bought a second monitor, but you're talking initial stage
Right.
here. I had to learn to now, from three big monitors, work on one little laptop and still get the same work done. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I doing enough? Am I being as productive as I would if I'm not at home? Because truth be told, it's not like going in the office, Secondly, I became more sedentary. So it was this stress, and then sharing the space, maybe I'm on the phone with a colleague and then I hear my husband downstairs to the vacuum cleaner. I'm like, shh. So we had to learn to coexist. And initially, prior to learning that became a stress because it was a new thing. Like you
Yeah.
described those stressors. It became stressful. And then,
Yeah. And then
mhm.
go ahead.
No, I was going to go into the other points, but go. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just looking at it, and I was thinking about people that have other stresses that they're dealing with. One spouse may be losing a job during COVID-19,
Yes.
or losing a loved one, losing a home, and then you have all these stressors that you're dealing with, and you're dealing with someone, and you both are trying to cope the best you can, and then you have little ones that you have to deal with, and
Cabin fever. Then you had that
huh?
cabin fever aspect where you had to be in the house. I remember just driving out, just to get out the house, I would get in my car and just go to Starbucks just to say, "Ooh, I'm going out."
And I know that's true because I would be on the phone with you sometimes. I'm like, where are you going? But I'm a homebody, so this is like perfect for me.
No,
I wish I
man.
had a job where I could work from home right now.
I'm
Because
loving
this is
it. I'm loving it. Lord, you hear me. I'm not complaining. I'm loving it. Now I've adjusted. I've adjusted.
yeah,
And that leads us into our
you
next
know,
topic. Okay, sorry. Of adaptability.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, just rounding up, but I'm just saying all of these stresses can propel marriages into loss of physical intimacy, loss of
Yes.
emotional
Yes.
intimacy, and then you're dealing with, you're hearing everywhere you go, you're social distancing, and then you might find couples practicing that social distancing, maybe even in
Oh,
their marriages and even in their homes. It's
in
like,
the
every
bedroom.
time,
Social
yeah,
distance.
social distancing, especially when you might not be getting along at that point, or somebody's getting on somebody's nerves. So you know what, you stay over there, I stay over here. But then we have to understand that it's a physical thing, and it should not be a social thing. And that just
Yes.
brings us into our next point that Ashley wanted to bring up, which is adaptability.
Adaptability. As Nikki rightfully put it earlier, she said it's moving away from the normal and adapting to the new normal. The new normal being what, you just discussed, the social distance. The new normal being maybe you can't visit family like you used to. Now you have to get on Zoom to have family meetings. People had Zoom Thanksgiving. People are getting married and they're doing it on Zoom with, people looking in. Mine, which is, I still haven't adapted to this. My credit union, I can't just walk into the bank, I cannot just walk into my credit union. I have to make an appointment online. And if I need to talk with somebody in the bank, then I have to go online and make an appointment. I mean, I do 90%, 99% of my banking online anyway, but there are times when you need to go in, and those times it was very annoying for me, and I still haven't gotten used to it. And I've called them like, when are you gonna like get with the program, but this one particular credit union, I have to make an appointment online to go see someone in there to talk to them in
And I
person.
think I think almost all the banks are doing that, or a majority of the banks are doing that, where everyone is, you for you to just step to the door, you have to have an appointment.
Yeah, yeah. And
It's like the new norm.
well,
Hmm.
I have two accounts. So my other bank, I can just walk in, but my credit union, where they're
Wow,
like with the low
wow.
fees, they're like, make an appointment. Do you have an appointment?
Well,
And I'm
here,
just like,
in this state, it doesn't matter which bank you're in, you have to make an appointment to get in.
really?
And
So
if they're able to take care of certain things now, that before they were like, oh, just go on to your local branch and, talk to Miss D or Miss D. Now they're like, okay, call us and we'll see if we can take care of everything over the phone. Maybe we'll have you scan in some documents or sign some things or whatever. But almost every bank here is like, yes, you need to make an appointment, and that's just one of the ways that adaptability comes in. A lot of people, for this time, adaptability, I think, is one of, if not the most needed skill to deal with every
Yes,
single thing that's going on. And it's
absolutely.
also going to be, yeah, it's also going to be something that is most needed in a marriage at this point. We have to learn to adapt.
Yeah, and then yeah.
Like someone said, it's a survival skill, and it is. In every single phase of our lives and every single season that we've been in, if you're not able to adapt to what's going on, and we're not saying adapt in the sense of, okay, picking up bad habits here and there. We're talking about adapting to what's happening in our culture. Like you just said rightfully, I had to adapt to not going to the office and working from home and still keeping my home and still, doing the things that's going to make my home or my house a home, livable and lovable for you and your family. So you
Yeah.
just have to adapt nowadays with every single thing that's going on.
And in part of that adaptability too, like you have to be sensitive to the needs of the people in your home, as sensitive to the needs of your spouse or your children. Is it that they need some quiet time? Children need
Yeah,
space. Children need quiet time too. I mean, not
yeah,
quiet time like you put them in a corner. Like they need a moment to just be. I remember my niece, she was just like, having a fit, a total meltdown, and she was 2. And I told my brother, I was like, they too need time. They need their personal space. So
yeah,
being sensitive to your partner's or your family's needs,
yeah,
adapted to their needs, and maybe they want to like unwind in
yeah,
their own way, in their space with nobody bothering them, give them that
yeah,
space.
definitely. And just like how the children need their own space, so does an adult, and
Mhm.
that goes to your spouse. Just because you're in the same home doesn't mean that you have to be on that
Be
spouse like
around
24/7,
24/7. Yes,
give
yes,
them their much needed space.
yeah.
And, use that time maybe to do something for yourself. It gets busy being in the home and having to be working, checking on the assignments, trying to keep in contact with family and loved ones and friends, because even though you're away and it's COVID and you're keeping your social distancing, like I said, it's a physical thing. So you have to make sure that you're doing the social part of it. Keep in contact with loved ones. Find out how everyone is keeping up with what's going on. Sometimes you hear of different friends or family members that are just going through some things. Maybe you can be that listening ear, call someone, say a prayer with them. Just checking in on somebody makes a big difference.
Yes,
Because not everybody's
absolutely.
able to cope like you or I can cope.
Yes, yes.
The coping mechanisms might not be that good. Try to be a better communicator. Empathize a lot more, even when you know your spouse is the one that's wrong. Just empathize.
What did you
Be that
say?
listening
What do
one.
you do if your spouse is wrong and you know it? What do you do?
If your spouse is what?
He said even when your spouse is wrong. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Silly.
You just have to, because it's very much needed. The communication is very much needed.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes you're gonna have to tear down some barriers and deal with some situation or circumstances. Take a mental vacation. To deal with all those stresses. And just, maybe shut the door to a room and just be there by yourself for a couple of minutes and just, think positive thoughts. The Bible said, think on things that are pure, that are true, that are just, that are for good report, despite every single thing else that's going on CNN and the news and ABC, NBC, whatever they're saying and whatever, your phone might be pulling up, whatever it is. Just take that mental vacation every single day and just start being thankful. Each day, find something to be thankful for.
Exactly.
We just have to adapt. And we're in this,
Exactly.
Thanksgiving just ended and we're getting into
Yes.
Christmas. And trust me, not a lot of people are around to see where we are or to even go through COVID because they did not make it. Every day when you get up, just say thank you. Thank you, Lord. I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
here.
The Bible says in First Thessalonians 5:18, one of my favorite scriptures, it says, "In everything give thanks." Not for everything, but in
Absolutely.
everything. In every
Absolutely.
situation you find yourself, give thanks.
In every
It's
COVID
a
moment, give
lockdown.
thanks.
It's a lockdown. Lord, thank you. I'm alive and I can breathe and I have my
Yes.
health. Thank you. My family is safe. Thank you, for food on my table, for toilet paper, for hand sanitizers,
Absolutely.
in
Thank
in
you.
everything give thanks. So, I think if you were to ask me what would be your big takeaway from this episode, it would be, one, realize that your spouse is not the enemy and that you're on the same team.
Absolutely.
There's a bigger enemy. The real enemy is the devil, who comes to steal, kill, and destroy, not your spouse. So you guys need to be on the same team,
Yeah.
because the enemy will want to divide and conquer. And then in
Absolutely.
everything, give thanks. Those are my
Yeah.
closing thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. I think being grateful is one, and just taking this moment to be appreciative of every single person. Tell your children how much you appreciate them and you love them. They could be out there doing something else. So many parents have lost their children, or
Mm,
tell your in-laws, your outlaws, you know what? I love you. I appreciate you for everything. Don't
yes,
forget every single day when you get that chance, let your spouse know that you appreciate them too and that you do love them. That's the reason you
yes,
married them anyway. So, I mean, those are just some of the things you have to
yeah,
just think about each and every single day. But I think one of the biggest things for me is just knowing that you have to be able to adapt, you know what I'm saying, to any situation or circumstances that comes your way and find the best in it, no matter what it is, find the best part out of it, you know? And that's my take on it, Queen.
that's great. Over to you, Nikki. I'm done.
Oh man, she's letting me close today. Wow. Thank
You
you for that
always
privilege.
do.
I really appreciate it.
Shut up.
You know what? Thank you so much for just joining us today. We really appreciate it. I hope that you were able to get even one single nugget out of it. Just understand that your marriage is sacred.
Yes.
It's something that you went before God and man. You've made a covenant. And even with this pandemic that's going on, God is still in it. God is still in control of every single thing that's going on. Thank you for joining us again. We look forward to seeing you. I think our next topic has to do with health as well. Even in this season, we see a lot of
Yes.
people. Even I was just telling Ashley, oh my goodness, I don't know if I want to go on the screen today. I think I put on a couple of pounds, and we were just talking about health and everything in regards to this season. One of the biggest takeaways that we have from everything that's going on with every person in healthcare and even people that are not in healthcare is you have to be living a healthy lifestyle right now,
Yes.
especially with COVID-19 and the pandemic that's going on. So our next topic, we're going to be talking about some things that every single female needs to be doing, every single thing that male needs to be doing, and we know you're going to be blessed. Okay. Thanks again. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like. See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.